Uh, Okay. Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon. We really appreciate you taking the time to jump into our webinar. This is Building a Better Tomorrow, Express Offers Pro MVP. I'm Terrence Clark, the manager of the Express Offers program. I have some really cool guests with us today. Have Noah Neighbors and Austin Jones, both from the Zudilio team, here to go through a couple of things with you all. But I'm super excited to go through this. I know we've been down for a little bit, and so being back up and running is definitely a great feeling. And so let's get right into it. Let's see here. So let's just talk about really quickly of kind of like this the story of EO. Many of you have been familiar with the platform for a while, been familiar with the program and the value prop, but we started and launched this back in 2018. Whole idea back then really was to make sure that our agents had an offering in the space of cash offers, right? I think we all remember that time when Open Door was first launching. You had Zillow just launching, right? And so I think our leadership was smart enough to say, hey, we're not going to be left out of this niche. We're going to make sure that we prepare and give our agents this tool so that they could go out and, again, level that playing field. So we launched, and then we get to the point of learning the lessons, right? It's not as easy as it looks, right? You guys, the agents, needed something where you could control the lead flow, right? We had expressoffers.com, which generated some seller leads, but you guys kept saying, hey, we need a way to bring in and market to our clients and keep them engaged with the same value props. We also realized that we needed more flexible options, right? The rate climate had changed. A lot of those large buyers that we built the platform on kind of went dark, right? They went from acquiring 100 of properties a year to now maybe doing 10 or so a year, right? Just, again, different rate climate where things needed to change. Talk about that turning point where, again, that market shifted, buyers dropped out, but still people still needed that option, right? Still needed to be able to show up to the seller with some value, with being able to bring demand, right? It's a great way, obviously, to start a conversation, but then there are also people who are in situations where it's not just a conversation starter, it's an absolute need that they have for their situation. And so getting to where we are today, in our new world, we realize that it's not just obviously about the cash offer. It is still about speed, certainty, and convenience. But we want to make sure that we can offer all of those selling solutions in one place with one submission. So moving forward, as getting into, again, where we are today, what's new is you have more access. You're going to get more offers, and then have more opportunities because of that access and those offers. We have opened up the entire platform to all U.S. agents, so you won't need to be certified, and then you won't need a pro subscription, which we'll get into a little bit later. You will have access to every available buyer in your market, right? So no longer the certification barrier. We will still have a certification, right? We will relaunch our certification in Q1 of 2026. But to engage the platform to bring those offers to your seller clients, you do not need a certification for that. We heard you loud and clear as far as the relationship that we had with Open Door and that first right of refusal. We know when you are representing the sellers that you wanted to be able to present your sellers with multiple options right away, right? You didn't like the friction where you had to go decline the offer, jump back into the platform, resubmit to the other buyers. It was pretty clunky. So today in our new world, again, no first right of refusal. All buyers will see the property and be able to engage with you on your initial submission. Now, we do have EO Pro, which is coming very soon. This is really going to be your advanced tools, your agent dashboards, to be able to go in, follow your submissions, keep them all in one place. And then there's also some home reports that you will be able to engage and keep your sellers engaged and watch how they move and interact with the home reports that you send out. So That is obviously a upcharge as far as a fee, but it is something that's very valuable to your sellers to be able to always see kind of the action and values on their home from people who are ready, willing, and able to buy. So want to introduce again, Noah Neighbors, Head of Product for Zudilio, and Austin Jones, Director of Client Success. They're going to go through with us how we are engaging with the ExpressOffers platform powered by Zudilio in our MVP stage. And so for those of you who are watching this, MVP just means it's basically our minimum valuable product. So this is like the bare bones. This is something that was very important to our leadership to make sure that you, without any additional financial commitment, can still engage the platform and engage these buyers for your sellers. But I'm going to turn it over to Noah and Austin, and let's go through a little bit. Actually, if you guys want to give a quick introduction, and then we can go into the MVP and how to use it and engage with it.
Absolutely. Thanks, Terrence. Hi, everyone. My name's Austin. I'm the Director of Client Success at Zudilio. And yeah, we're super excited to support the evolution of ExpressOffers. And our goal today is to keep this simple, show you exactly how this new experience works. And this next slide kind of shows the entire workflow in 3 steps. You submit a property with just a few basic questions. The system immediately runs it through the Zudilio's engine behind the scenes. And from there, you instantly receive live market value cash offers, not investor lowballs. And these offers are offers that you can confidently bring to a homeowner. As the agent, you're paid on the purchase and on the resale. So it's a tool that helps the seller and creates more opportunities for you. Then you're able to review and compare those offers side by side so you can build confidence with the seller. Once you have those offers coming in, everything lives inside of one clean dashboard. You can compare all the offers next to your own pricing strategy, download PDFs, or you can share. We have like a offer dashboard digitally with your seller. And yeah, this is designed to help you spark more conversations without adding complexity to your workflow. And so I'll hand it over to Noah, and he'll show you exactly what this looks like live.
Yeah, thanks for the intro, Austin. Nice to meet everybody. My name's Noah. I'm the head of product at Zudilio. Been with the company since before they launched to the public space. Really excited to be here today. It's been awesome working with the ExpressOffers team and Terrence and everyone. Excited to see the EXP group start really pushing cash offers again after a little bit of that downtime that Terrence mentioned and really get rolling. So what I want to do today is just quickly show you guys how easy it is to really get rolling. Like Terrence mentioned, this is bare bones, ready to go as fast as possible. No barrier to entry. You guys are welcome to go do this right after this call, which I think is the most exciting part of this, right? And it's really simple. We're going to show you how you can submit a property, where you can see the offers, and kind of how you can compare them and move forward if your seller is interested. So again, a few short steps. This process in total takes maybe a minute or two, depending on what you have available. So let me go ahead and just share my screen really quick, and I will show you guys what this looks like. So the first thing that you're going to be doing is heading over to the ExpressOffers page to start the submission process. All you're going to be doing here is whatever property that you're wanting to bring cash offers to. Maybe you have a listing appointment coming up. Maybe you're working with a client. Whatever the case might be, you go ahead and pop their address into this bar here and continue on through the process. Sure, what's up? Are we not able to see my screen?
No.
Awesome. Okay, perfect. Let me just rewind a little bit. Sorry about that, guys. So yeah, like I mentioned, you'll pop over to the ExpressOffers page. You can see here, super straightforward. Kick off the process, typing in your home address, or not your home address, excuse me, the address of your lead or client's property. From here, you'll continue through the process, verifying the property address, and then we're going to pull some information on the home. From here, you can validate it if it's correct or incorrect to make sure everything's good to go. From here, you'll then be submitting the contact information. Now, the key piece here, guys, is that you want to make sure you're submitting your information as the agent, because this is actually the contact of record we will have when connecting you with the buyers, right? So in my case, for example, I'll put in my information, so that the team will be able to contact me about the offers. And then I will be creating my little account setup here and moving forward. Now, from this point, it's going to ask me really quickly if I have photos of the property. We'll go into that briefly, but Terrence can touch more on this, on what this looks like from a compliance flow. But if you have photos available, maybe you have the property already on the market and you have the MLS photos, you can upload them here. Otherwise, you can just skip to what we call the offer dashboard. And this is kind of really the meat of the new Express Offers. This is where you're going to be able to see all of the offers available on your client's property and basically the stage and status that those offers are in. So when things get started off, you'll have what we call estimated offers. And that's exactly what it sounds like, right? Based on an automated value model, we're evaluating the property using our data and providing, hey, here's based on the buyers we have available in your market, what you can kind of expect. The main purpose for this page as an agent is to really be able to see, okay, how many offers are available on this home, right? And what are the different types of offers? Because that's one of the really cool things that you also have access to now is you don't just have the normal cash offer options, you have a bunch of different selling strategies available. So this is a great way to see, again, what's available, how many offers, look into how they might work, and how do the estimated offers kind of play into the situation. Now, from this point, as an agent, you have a couple options. What I would recommend doing is doing what we call a finalized offer. And what that does is it basically just reaches out to the buyer and lets them know, hey, my seller is interested in this selling option, right? From that point, the buyer can go forward and kind of underwrite that offer and get it back to you. And normally that happens pretty quickly within 1 to 3 business days, a little bit faster in some cases, but that's kind of what you can expect. You'll be notified when that's ready to go, and this dashboard will update with that new, finalized offer ready to go. Now, before that happens, if you're interested in maybe, what offer or what types of offers do you potentially want to get final numbers on for your client, you can go through and look at the offer details of the offers. And again, this is going to just give you a recap of what the offer is, how it works, what some of the benefits might be for your clients, and what are some of the options and availabilities. You can also, of course, see a full financial breakdown of what's the offer amount, what are the different fees, how is the offer going to play out, what is your seller going to net throughout the process. In some cases, a commission will be collected on your behalf. And if that's the case, you'll be able to see what that commission is. So you know whether or not you need to have that commission conversation with your seller. So pretty much everything that you need here to kind of go forward on the offers process and journey, you have available. And like I said, I'm not going to spend too much time here because, again, the awesome thing is you guys have the ability to go do this right now. Go submit a property. If you don't have a listing right this second, you can even go maybe submit your personal property just so you can see what the process looks like and kind of get your hands on it. One of the really awesome things that I really want to push as well is our offers training team. So when it comes to how to review these buyer offers, how to present them to your clients, how to pivot to the listing if the offer doesn't work, etc. We have a full service team that we call the offers department that's there to help you along your journey. They're helping you connect to the buyers, answer questions you might have, help you throughout the transaction. Whatever you might need, we're here to help. And that's one of the huge benefits as well, the new Express Offers platform. So with that, I'll go ahead and hand it back over to Terrence and we can continue on. And I'm sure we have a bunch of questions, but we'll kind of get to that when that time arises. So appreciate it, guys.
Thanks so much for that quick rundown. No, really appreciate it. And so you guys saw that, you can start this process again without the photos. I want to make sure that it is super important that when you are working with a seller who you do not represent, you want to be sure not to upload the photos in the platform until you have that listing agreement. So you can have conversations about preliminary offers. And I believe, Noah, don't turn me into a liar. Also, don't turn me into a liar. But I believe that there's a range coming down the pipe where those numbers are going to be more open as a range versus a number, right? So I say all that to say, have the conversation with your sellers based off of that range, as we talked about in the previous world of EO. And if they are wanting to go forward or wanting to even have you negotiate on their behalf, that is the great trigger for you to go out and get that listing agreement where they are hiring you to represent their interests. You can go to bat for them and really work the transaction for your seller. So again, just a note, when you are uploading those pictures, you want to make sure that you have that listing agreement, but it does not stop you from going and getting those automatic offers right now today, right? If you're prospecting, you run into a for sale by owner, throw their property in there, right? Have a more stronger value prop. We've all called these for sale by owners, and we're probably all have heard the question so many times to, it's probably our head is hurting. Well, do you have a buyer, right? Everybody hears that question when you're prospecting, especially FSBOs. And so this is going to give you the ability to say, well, hey, Mr. or Mrs. Sellers, that's exactly why I'm reaching out, right? So you're coming to the sellers with buyer demand. And to Noah's point, is being ready and prepared to pivot, right? Not every transaction is going to lead into a cash offer transaction or cash offer sale, but if it allowed you to get your foot in the door and then be prepared for that pivot, you will see yourself for sure taking more listings. So wanted to just share that. He talked a little bit about the offer management dashboard. So this dashboard that you're going to get on the offer side is a part of the free version. You will get a link sent to you. It's very important too, when you are using our MVP, to make sure that your information is going in for that client information. That's going to make sure that all of the context comes to you, and then you will be the one that's sharing it with the seller. So I wanted to also mention that. And then let's see here. So again, just start more conversations. Be ready to do this today, right? There's nothing that is holding you back. A lot of you are asking in the chat, well, okay, Terrence, well, I went to app.expressoffers.com. That doesn't work. So nope, I'm getting there, right? Next slide, you will be able to go ahead, use the QR code to get to the SOP. Very important that you go through that SOP first. Just want to make sure you have all the details you need to actually move something from submission to contract, but go through the SOP. The link that you need to actually submit the property is going to be in the SOP as well. But yeah, let's attack some of these questions. We answered
one
the
I'd
one
like to
about.
jump on right away,
Go ahead,
Terrence, if you
please.
don't mind. We have a couple comments regarding client data and marketing approaches, and that's something that I really want to touch on, because as an agent, that is extremely important and extremely valuable. And luckily for all of us, that's one of the massive advantages of the EO platform. So when you submit a property into EO and we're pairing those buyers to that property, they are not able to see any of your clients' data, any of their contact information. We keep as much data hidden as possible, that the potential buyer can still underwrite their offer, but there's no way for them to potentially bypass you as the agent. We also have terms outlined with all of the buyers. So for a buyer to get into the EO platform, they have to go through basically a submission and approval process. Part of the terms of that are exactly what it outlined. If we find a buyer did somehow find a way to reach out to your client and try to cut you out of the deal, that would basically result in them being removed from the platform going forward. So we are very mindful of that, and it is a very large piece of EO, and something that we're really, really focused on. That's also where our offers team comes into play, kind of helping be the mediator of the transaction between all of the parties to an extent, helping keep those communication lines open and helping make sure everyone's informed of what's going on without running into any of those potential possibilities. Another thing that I'd like to touch on, you mentioned, if you submit a property and here is your client going to get bombarded with cash offers, the answer is no, because all of the offers are going to be coming through the EO platform. Right, so they're all condensed into this one area. They're not being sprayed out to the marketed buyers for each of them to individually market to you and your clients. So that's the great benefit. Everything's centralized, everything's managed, and it's a really simple and easy process for both you and your seller. So that's a big one. Everyone always has questions on that, so I really just want to put a lot of emphasis on how that works for you guys.
No, thank you for that. That you're absolutely right. I think just to kind of give agents that peace of mind that you can engage our platform and not have to worry about your seller getting bombarded with a bunch of different outreach. So thank you for sharing that. See a couple of questions about marketing. So want to just throw this out there that EO Pro. One of the things that we loved about this relationship is Zudilio does do monthly marketing drops. That is going to be a function of EO Pro. So EO Pros, we're maybe a month out. Don't quote me on that, but that's a relatively safe time frame. So if you are an EO Pro subscriber, you will be able to jump in there, use all of the marketing assets that they provide. And what's cool too, they do it all and allow us to leverage Canva when they drop those marketing materials. So you will have that. You also have our internal team on the EXP side will also be putting out new marketing materials too. I really love some of it from our perspective as well. So like a two-pronged approach when it comes to different marketing pieces. See a question down here about commercial listings or land listings. Noah or Austin, do you want to tackle that one?
So as it stands right now, the platform is primarily focused on residential real estate space. However, you are welcome to attempt to submit that property, and if we are able to find and match buyers, then those will be available. But just being fully transparent, that is not the focus of the platform as it stands right now. So I wouldn't expect too much from that standpoint. Commercial is just a very different space. So.
Yeah, very much agreed on that, guys. And as we're building out the buyer database, we may have new and fresh buyers that are looking for those assets, and as they are telling us about what their needs are from an asset perspective, those will be translated to you all. So new buy boxes, you'll still get announcements from our internal team as, hey, we have a new buyer that's looking for X, Y, and Z type of assets. So be definitely on the lookout for that. Let's see if there's another certification. So again, want to talk about certification not being needed to access this platform. Is not a function like how it was in the previous model. So we will still have a certification, but it will come later in Q1 of 2026 with some additional benefits. So a couple of things that we're working on that side is buyer agency. I think so about 40% of the buyers who are coming into our world on the ExpressOffers buy side are going to raise their hand and say, hey, yes, in the right scenario, we would definitely allow an EXP agent to represent us. You're going to need to go through certification to have access to that. We want to make sure that it's very, very much understood that when you represent an investor, what are the expectations behind that relationship, right? So certification will come with that as a benefit. You will also be first in line for our seller leads. So we still are going out making relationships with different lead providers. We're revamping the entire expressoffers.com website. And so EO Pros will be prioritized with those seller leads, understanding that you've gone through the certification. Again, big part of our certification, especially as it relates to the leads, is we have to make sure that the process and flow is how we train it on, is how we train it, right? So one of the things that we've noticed in the past is you take these motivated seller leads that have their hand up for cash offers, and our brains are so wired to being traditional agents that we go out and almost talk ourselves out of opportunity. So certification will make sure that we are walking you through what that flow actually looks like, making sure that you deliver on what the seller actually asked for, and then again, being prepared to pivot when that time comes. So wanted to answer those two things. I don't know if there's any other questions that I missed. Well, keep them coming in. I don't think that okay. So Andy asked, are we have to recertify? So yes, all certifications are reset. And again, the new certification will be out and available Q1 of 2026. Yes, the MVP to again submit your properties for these cash offers are up and available right now today. Let's see here. There's an option for cash offer plus renovations, but the home was built in 2024. It doesn't need 78K in renovations. How do we communicate these nuances with the investors? And will there be an option to upload videos? At this point, we can only upload photos.
Great question. So that's where we play in, Jody. Great question, by the way, into kind of that process that I mentioned of we're finalizing the offer. So again, the initial estimates that you're getting are just based on the data that we have available and the past offers we have in your area. So when you move forward and say, yeah, my seller's interested in the cash plus offer, for example, and that underwriting process is done, they'll see, oh, hey, the home was built in 2024. If they don't have photos or a video of the home, they may reach out to you and say, hey, Jody, we realized you reached out for this offer. We haven't seen any photos of the videos of the property. Is the property still in good condition from 2024, or did something happen where the seller needs repairs, renovations, etc.? So there's a very open line of communication between you as the agent and our offers department, who again works as kind of a working arm alongside these buyers to help keep you in the loop and convey a lot of information throughout the platform, right? So there's areas, especially with EO Pro, where you can communicate some of that information directly from in your platform. But the offers team that we have here is fantastic at kind of helping you along the path there. And in terms of videos, yes, photos are the primary path. We do have avenues for you to provide video walkthroughs of the property. Sometimes you may even be asked to do that for certain buyers. And if that's the case, you can communicate that again with the offers department. Normally you'll have a representative that's working with you through the transaction that you can kind of lean on for those kinds of questions and issues. So great question.
I see another question. Nino is asking, what is the correct website? Nina, scan the QR code, head over to the SOP. So you, again, have all the information that you need to go from A to Z. And the link to actually submit the properties is in that SOP. So if you want to head over there, you will be able to get that link. Joe asked, what do we get for the $25 a month? And then Tony asked, will we still have a personalized EO website? So those, I wanted to mention those because they kind of run together. So in EO Pro, one of the things that, again, that we noticed is that the agents you want to drive the marketing funnel. You want to drive being able to put this offering out there and have sellers come into your world. So when EO Pro is stood up, part of that subscription is you are going to get your own landing page that you can control. You also get access to widgets that you won't have to necessarily use the landing page. If you are going to do something more, I guess, inclusive of your own like verbiage and wording, and you want to just kind of throw the widget on there, you'll be able to do that as well. But for $25 a month, again, you're getting the landing page, the widget, the back end, the agent dashboards. You are also getting access to the certification, and certification again comes with those additional benefits. So being able to represent the buyer for a recurring referral, being able to be first in line priority for seller referrals are two of the major benefits. And then the last benefit that's still true today that we've had in the past is you will also be able to help us onboard new buyers, right? So again, that's also a new training that is a part of the certification. What we have learned in the past is that this is not a set it and forget it. It's not one of those things where you just bring a buyer to the platform, they onboard, and then you're like, okay, my job is done, hands off. It's really important for you to kind of maintain that relationship as they're onto this platform so that we don't have the same issues that we had in the past. I think we're really thankful of what Zodilio has brought to the table, but we want to make sure that as things change on the buyer's end, maybe their buy box changed, maybe they have personnel changes. We want to make sure that you, the agent, is keeping that relationship alive so that when changes are happening on their side, you can let us know and we can move accordingly. So if that means getting someone else access to that buyer's information, we want to make sure that we can help you facilitate that so that every time they do see opportunities, they have an opportunity to actually make an offer. So again, those are the benefits of the certification and the $25 a month for EO Pro. And again, I think we're about 30 days out of releasing the EO Pro. Get on the interest list. If you haven't already, we will be giving a special accommodation for the first month for anybody that's on that interest list. So I believe that link is also in that SOP. If not, definitely reach out to me on Slack, and I'll be more than happy to point you in the right direction. I see a question about, can this be viewed on, oh no, that says, QR code on the phone, so I'll move off that. You're creating an account. So when you are submitting the property on the landing page, it's going to ask you for the account information. Always, when using our landing page in this MVP stage, make sure you're putting your information in the client information spot. So don't put your client's information in that spot. You're going to tempt me with referring that client out to one of our agents. So make sure, again, you are putting your information in the client spot when using the MVP. And again, I believe that's pretty clear on the SOP. So if you do have additional questions, that's why it's so important to make sure you visit the SOP and go through it so that you have some of those questions already answered. This one be a good one for maybe is how do you recommend positioning this when you are competing against other iBuyer models?
Yeah, great question. So I think a lot of that's also going to come in with the certification process, and you'll learn a lot more about this through going through that experience. But quickly, what I can touch on is the real benefit of EO for a homeowner is they don't have to worry about comparing this to other iBuyer models or companies, because the reality is, as the agent, you're now representing them in getting them all of the options and solutions, right? And that's really the big piece for Use the Agent. You have some unique options that are only available through EO in some cases, but you also have the ability to get basically all the offers and options that are out there and bring them all in one place for your seller, so they have really transparent view of what are all the options, what are all the different iBuyer strategies that are out there, what solutions are potentially on the table for them. So when it comes in how to position that against competitors, it's a great way to get your foot in the door. If they already have an offer through a different company, you can say, hey, that's awesome, I have XYZ other offers that we can take and compare that to and see which one might be the best solution for you, right? So it's really just a discovery and consulting game at the end of the day when it comes to these offers. They're not going to be the perfect fit for everybody, but it really gives you the opportunity to bring extra value to the table and help kind of give them that fiduciary support of what might be the best result for them, and not just when it comes to finances, what works for them on their timetable, for their family, for their home, for their situation. And that's really what it comes down to. So it's a case-by-case scenario, and the more you use the platform, the more comfortable you get with doing this. I've been doing this for over 7 years now, so you'll get there. It takes a couple of transactions normally to get the hang of it, but once you get it, it's awesome. That's all I can say.
No, for sure. And just to kind of piggyback on that, right, is the thing that I really love about the platform is you are not walking in with just one cash offer. You are walking in with multiple different selling opportunities. So the how to compare, right, how to compete anyway, is the fact that you're able to be one source for multiple selling solutions, whereas though most of the iBuyers today have a straight cash offer, unless they are trying to hijack someone else's business model, but we'll save that for another day. So Patricia asked about the URL and landing page. Again, that's going to be agent owned. So a subscription to EO Pro is going to get you your own landing page, your own widget. You will control that. If you're getting to Zudilio.com and it's asking you to create an account, it's because you didn't go through the landing page that's in the SOP. So scan the SOP and then click the link that's in that SOP. So I will say, I've known about Zudilio for years. When they first announced the cash offer plus repairs, I knew instantly it was a game changer. And again, being able to show up to the seller with multiple opportunities, to me is where you will compete and you will find yourself winning a lot of business. EO Pro is not ready to sign up for today, but you can get on our interest list, and I believe that link is in the SOP on this screen. Again, if it's not, because I don't have it in front of me, just reach out to me on Slack, and I'll make sure you get routed to the right place. But otherwise, I want to thank everyone. I know we were on a 30-minute time frame, so I don't want to be respectful of everyone's time. Again, if you have any questions, please reach out to me in Slack. Super excited to roll this out, get you access, and have this in front of you and your clients. I know it's going to be something that helps you win more business. But yeah, if any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. Thank you.
Yep, thanks, everyone.